It's a record. Chalk it up as a record for me. 2 in one day. So I think I cut short when I recorded the previous one. I didn't go into detailed description. It'll be on the verge of TMI overall. But, I clicked off and I sent it up into the YouTube air and thought about it and realized I could have elaborated on a few areas about feeling sick. And I'll describe it, which is now 48 hours ago. It's now, I'm 95%, approaching 100%. This morning when I recorded, so I'm going to say 12 hours ago. I felt tired, just a little bit of fogginess, like not prepared for a whole lot. As I mentioned in the previous one, I didn't feel like doing it. I didn't feel like speaking. I didn't feel like clicking record. But I wanted to put myself to the test because changing your style in life, you will need to put yourself to a test. There's no doubt about it. Addiction. And when you go from stuck, not feeling like doing something, you really got to be radical. And sometimes you absolutely have to make a move, almost instantaneous with the decision to move. So even before I went out to work today, which yesterday took a day off from work, I even couldn't get a whole lot done at home, which is sometimes easy for me, but really tired. I had gaps in sleep the night before. I talked about the insomnia. I talked about the flashbacks. I talked about how it brought in a real measurable amount of sadness. And it felt like the pit was getting deeper and deeper. So to be fully descriptive, the sickness was a natural sickness. It was not a cocktail induced sickness. There was no drinking. There was no drug. Nothing that was altering the body. It may have been, and people would argue, may have been food poisoning. Something, I didn't have a whole lot to eat. It was about 9:30 in the morning when I ate a breakfast sandwich. But 2 or 3 hours later, I started feeling the gut roll and the gut harden, and then I started getting really tired, and I was losing my focus. And I'm out on the road traveling for work, and had quite a distance to drive, and I pulled off the road and leaned the seat back to take what seemed to be about a 15-minute nap. And that's so unusual, 100% unusual for me to feel fatigue like that at noon or 12:15 roughly. Bizarre. So really, I then felt a little energy after that, and I was going to try to finish a couple other things work-wise. But then while visiting another place that I call upon, customer, there was a return on some of those feelings that I had 2 hours before. I'm closer to home at that point, and my drive distance would have been about probably 16 miles. And most of those 16 miles, I was hanging my head, drooping, and doing shaking and blinking, and I finally got home. I could barely remember anything, no details whatsoever about the 16 miles that I just traveled. I got in the home and sickness began. Amazing, the timing. But that was probably 3 o'clock. A little bit of sickness, laid down, in and out of nap. Sickness wakes me up. Back to being 80% sleeping, tossing and turning, not being comfortable. Sickness again. Okay, TMI, right? I mean, it lasted like 3 hours, 4 hours maybe. Well, then guess what happens? I get to 10 o'clock at night and I have more energy than usual because I fit in some downtime and some nap time. Never do I do that. And so, my sleep was awful. And the wicked thoughts began at 11 o'clock, midnight, 1 o'clock in the morning. And, I'm hard sleeping at that point usually. But brought me back to, the drinking days and the roller coaster sleep hours. Just, heavy drinkers would know what I'm talking about. So, I don't know. It's just probably a whirlwind of, and a combo of memories circumferential to the drinking. Missing work. Just that whole feeling of sadness and not getting anything accomplished, that kind of thing. And, just that life felt so different. Almost completely like headed in a different direction, like falling instead of upright. So here's a few points that I wanted to elaborate on. The flashbacks are the terrible things also. And we all have flashbacks, and some flashbacks for me are not dangerous. They lead nowhere. You try to take those thoughts captive and discard them and replace them with something that is really alive right now. So you take your present, if you're not drinking and you're not drugging, you take your present day and you focus on that. And you can't look in the rearview mirror, and you can't go back and dwell in the misery and the bad decisions. So, there's blessings in what is foremost, what is front, what you are living at the time. So, it doesn't happen automatically, and it doesn't happen instantly. I guess you need some time to clear the fog, recuperate some thoughts, retrain your brain. The sun comes up. You try to tackle as much as you can that's normal for what your routine is and your purpose is. But the day after, which was yesterday, the day after, I didn't think I could actually go and be close to, near customers. I didn't think I had it in me to sell anything and discuss anything. I actually didn't think I had it in me to drive any further. So it was really a day off, and I don't take days off. So let's think about the difference between natural sickness and unnatural sickness. The unnatural sickness is the choice or what you force feed yourself. If you're putting things in your body that are making you sick, that's an unnatural sickness. and I did not have an unnatural sickness. I don't know what happened, but man, did it bombard me, and it knocked me very off balance. That's kind of a drunk phrase, right? You lose your balance, but no, I mean, I was out of sorts. And yes, even this morning, I didn't feel all with it, but I still said I'm going to record it. I went out and worked today. I accomplished most of what I wanted to do, and I knew that I didn't finish a few of my thoughts. And the theme that I assigned to the recording this morning was be radical to achieve. And you know, there are times when many times, not only do I just think it as the interior, but I will speak it to others. That is, you think about the many, many times and the many, many things and the many, many ways that I made the effort to go drink, to get more alcohol. I mean, what I put myself through, it was reckless abandon just to go get that. And if you put just a little bit more of an effort into seeking sobriety, your workday, pure thoughts, gentleness, kindness, you know, all those things. So put more of an effort than what you used to make yourself sick. More of an effort to make it better. And my day got increasingly better. Happy that I tried to record something. Happy that I told you I don't feel like it. It actually made me want to record more. So I'm giving you more. I'm detailing more of what my my natural sickness. Can't fully explain it. I didn't go to the doctors. It really was about a 12 to 18 hour thing. So all set. But man, do I hate being sick. I would hate it even more if it was an unnatural sickness, if I chose to be sick. But I don't know where this hits everybody. Everybody has their time being sick. This wasn't just a couple of sneezes and a cough. Nasty. But got to be radical. When the instant change, which is not automatic, but the instant change needs to be made, then make more of an effort than what we used to be under the influence. And that's where I'll close it. That's where I'll close it right now. I think my next recording, I'm going to do some shout outs. So I got some people out there that I continue to think about. I think they're watching a few of these videos. I guess it's a good time to ask you to make any comments. I'd like to read them and respond. Click like on each video. Share each video. I don't mind. I'm in recovery. You're in recovery. And we're in recovery.